Alright guys, now let's get started by building our authentication flow. Okay, now for the authentication flow we need two things. One is the sign up page and another one is the login page. So first we have to build that in order to add our functionality. So let me quickly go over to our navbar first. Let's remove this for now. Let's go to our navbar.js. Let's create our link component here, and inside this link component I'm going to add a text saying sign in, right? Or like sign up, and here I'm just going to add a to and set that to sign up route. We haven't created this route, but we are going to create it. I'm also going to add a class name here of nav-links, nav-links, right? And let me also add another link here, and inside this link let's just add login, because we also need to create the login page. 2 equals to, the path should be login, so login login. Let's remove this, and also we have to add a class name here as well and set that to nav links. Okay, it should be under the quotes, so there you go. And let's see if this works or not. Yeah, there you go. We have the login and we have the sign up. Let's just add a capital L here, I think. There you go. We have the login and the sign up links now. So what we're going to do is we are going to set up the routes for them, because currently if you go to this page you'll end up nowhere. So let me create the routes for these as well. So let's just go to our app.js file, because that is where our routes are configured, and let's create a route with a path of sign up, and inside the element prop we are going to add a component of sign up. Now we haven't created the sign up component, but we are going to create it. But first let's just set our routes first. So route path equals, and for the login I'm going to add a path of login, login, and the element is going to be a login component, right? Yeah, so we have set our routes. So what you want to do is now create these components first. So let's go to our pages, because the login and sign up are basically our pages. So inside our pages let's just create a new folder, and let's just name the folder login page. And inside this login page let's create a file that says login.js, and also let's create another file for the styles that says login.styles.css. Yeah, something like this. And let's quickly create the component, a simple component. All right, so we have created a simple component that just displays an h1 of login, and let's also locate these styles. So import dot slash login dot styles dot css, right? And there you go, we have created a simple login component. And let's just do the same thing for the sign up page as well. So in our pages let me create a new folder that says sign up page. Yeah, sign up page, and let's just give a hyphen here. Yeah, so inside the sign up page let's just create a new file of signup.js, and let me also add the css file for this. So signup.styles.css, right? and let me copy the code of login.js and let's just paste it in our sign up here. And instead of this login, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl and D so that I can select all the three login texts. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this and add sign up in place of login. So sign up, and here instead of login.styles.css, I'm going to add signup.styles.css. And if you save this, you can save this up. And in our app.js, what we are going to do is we are going to import those pages. So import login page, login from dot slash pages, login page, login. We are being able to locate here. And also we need to import sign up page. So sign up from dot slash pages, sign up page, and sign up. So we are going inside the pages folder and then going inside the sign up folder and sign up page folder, and then we are like locating the signup.js. And I think we need to add a capital U here. And there you go. And now if you see the result of this, let's go to our login page and see if this works or not. There you go, we have the login text here, and if you go to sign up, you have the sign up text here as well. So now we have successfully created our routes and its components. Now what we're going to do is we're going to quickly style the login and the sign up pages. So let's go to our sign up page first, because that is what we want to do. That is where we want to like focus for now. So let's just go to sign up page and quickly create our UI. Now for the UI, I just want to have like two sections. One section of the left that will basically be an image, and one section on the right that where I can add the input fields for the sign up. So if you go to our signup.js, we have a section here. Let's just add a class name of sign up container, right? And inside this, I want to have like two sections. The first section would be an image container. Let's just say sign up image container, right? And in our another div, I want to have a div of class name equals sign up content container, right? And for this inside the sign up content container, let's add another div, and that is going to be the wrapper of the contents. So class name equals to content wrapper, and inside this div, let's just create an h2 tag first that's going to say sign up, right? And for the image, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go over to Pixabay and like get one image. So books, let's just see which works. Okay guys, so since I couldn't be able to find a nice portrait image, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this image that we have here. Now this looks pretty good. So let me just download this, and like, yeah, let's just download it, and let me go to our folder. Let's just copy it and paste it in our project folder, inside source, inside assets. Yeah, we can paste it right here, and I can say auth background, because I'm going to use this for both login and the sign up. You can use different images like for different like login and sign up, that's up to you, but I'm not going to add complexity here. I'm just going to use the same image for both login and sign up. So yeah, I've added the image in our assets folder. Let me just close this, right? And if you can see the assets folder here, yeah, you have the auth.bg.jpg. So I'm going to add an image tag over here, right? And but first, like, let me import this image. So import auth bg img from we're gonna go to assets and then books images. No, not books images. Inside the assets I think we have that yeah, auth bg.jpg. So I'm gonna say auth bg.jpg, right? And here in our source attribute I'm going to call this image, so auth bg img, and also I'm going to add an alt attribute that says authentication background, something like this. And then let's just save that and let's see how this looks for now. Okay, so we have an entire big image that is kind of like overflowing the screen, and that's why like you're being able to see the scroll bar, horizontal scroll bar here. And also we have this sign up header that we created. So let's first style this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is in our sign up container, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to our sign up. I'm just gonna go to signup.styles.css and quickly add some styles on our sign up container. So let's target our sign up container, right? And inside this, let's just add a display property of flex, and let's see how this looks for now. Okay, the flex is working properly. And let's quickly style the sign up image container as well. So here let me add a dot and then sign up image container, and here I'm just going to set the width to somewhere around like 45%, right? Let's just save that, and I'm going to add an overflow property of hidden, and there you go. The overflowing that was there, it's now gone. But right now as you can see, like this image is not looking that good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add styles to this image. So let's target this image with the help of sign up image container only. So sign up image container, let's copy this class, and here let me add an image. So basically we are targeting the image that is inside the sign up image container. Now here let's quickly set some styles by saying width to 100%, right? And let's just see how this looks for now. Okay, it's setting the width to 100%, but now like as you can see, like it does not have a full height. So what we are going to do is I'm going to add a height here of 100 vh. Now 100 vh is a viewport height, so 100 vh like takes up the entire height of the screen that you currently have, right? So and there you go, we have taken up the entire height of the screen. And the last thing I would do here is create an object fit property and set that to contain, or I think we should set that to cover. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I think the styling for the image is done. Now what we are going to do is we are going to style the contents over here. So below our sign up, I'm going to add a paragraph tag that says create a new account with email and password, something like this, right? Yeah, that works. And below that I'm going to add a form tag, right? Because we have to set the input fields. And inside this form tag I'm going to add a div with the class name of form group. Also add a div over here, and inside this div I'm going to create the input tag with the class name of form input. Let's just see how this looks, and I think this is pretty good. Let's add a label as well. So label, right? And let's just say email here, and let's also add a placeholder inside our input, placeholder saying enter your email, and let me add a type to this input field, and the type should be email only, right? Let me copy this code and let's paste it over here. Let's add a password over here, password, and let's in our type attribute we are going to add a password here as well. And I think we should change the placeholder and say password, right? So let's just save that and see how this looks. Okay, so we have our user and the password field set up, and as you can see, like this is not the normal default styling of the input that comes with the HTML. Okay, like this is a raw styling, but the reason why like we are getting these styles is because in our footer, let me go to footer, right? We have created the input field, if you guys remember, and in our footer we have added a class name of form group here, and we have given a class name of form input here as well. And I'm giving the same class to the to our elements that are in our sign up page as well. So we have a class name of form group and a class name of form input, and that is the styling that is being added here as well. Now you might say that in our footer.js we created the styling in footer.styles.css, but in our sign up page we are not calling that styles. So like what is happening over here? So let me explain you a little bit. When you're adding like different styles.css in different folder, that doesn't mean that that styles is applicable to only that folder. Actually what happens is that all the styles that you have added wherever, all of them are going to compile, and later on, and then like in the compilation time, all of them are going to get compiled, and like a big like chunk of CSS is going to get created, and that is going to get applied to your entire React application. And that is the reason why we added a form input class on the footer, but still we are getting those like effects on our sign up page as well. So this is one drawback of using CSS, is that you have to create a kind of like a unique class. One way of solving this issue could be using CSS modules, but that concept is not in the scope of this project. Maybe I'll create another project later on where I'll be using like CSS modules instead of the normal CSS, and you know, like there like we can work on that feature. But here let's just go with the CSS that we currently have. So coming back to our project, yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this input field. uh, One thing that I'm going to add here is a button. So let's just add a div here and form button, add a class of form button. Let's just remove this label for now, and let's also remove this password to type from type and add a type of submit. All right. And we don't need the placeholder here, but we do need a value attribute, and let's just add a sign up here, right? Let me quickly save it and see how this looks, and there you go, we have the button set up. So inside our form, if you have an input of type submit, so that basically means the submit button. So let's quickly create our form button, and you know what, I think we have created a button something like this in our product page details section. Yeah, I think we have created the cart button here. So basically we are going to use the same stylings. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using the cart button, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, or like cut this styling of the cart button, right? And I'm going to, now since you have done this, you won't like, since you have done that, right? If you go to our like any, like if you go to the book details page, you're gonna see that you won't get any styles on the cart here as well, on the add to cart here as well. So I'm going to quickly add these styles in our index.css. So like kind of like, let's make this like class name global, because we might need it in multiple cases, this button. So let's just add it here, cart button. Let's just add a name of button primary, and here let me also add button primary with the hover effect. Let's just save that, and let's go back to our details section, and instead of this card button I'm going to add button primary. Let's just save that, and if you see, there you go, we have our stylings back up. So what I did was, instead of adding the styling here in our details section, I just copied it to our index.css, because we're going to use this button multiple times, the stylings of this button multiple times. um, so let's go back to our sign up page, and in case of, instead of this form button, let me add a button primary class. Um, and I think this should work. There you go. I think we should remove these black borders as well. So in our index.css, let's add a border property of none. Let's save that. Yeah, there you go. Now we don't have the borders. And one thing I've noticed is that the font family and the font size maybe is a little bit different over here. So let me add the font stylings in our button as well. So let's just add a font family of Chivo Mono, and let's add a font size of 1 rem. Let me save that and see how this looks. Okay, that looks much better. If I go to our product details, yeah, this should work. And let's give a space in between the sign up. Okay, perfect. So now I want to like bring this section in over in the center over here. So if I inspect this page, let me see how this looks. If I inspect the content wrapper, yeah, it's taking whatever height the content has, and also it's taking the whatever width the content has. And since the content wrapper is wrapped inside the sign up content container, what we can do is, first we need to like set up the width for the sign up content container, because as you can see right now the width is not set to 100%. So let me quickly add a class to sign up content container over here. Let me close this index.css for now. So sign up content container, let me add a dot at the beginning, right? And here let me quickly set its width to, I think 50% should do, right? And or like I think we should add a 40% width. I think this is much better. And here at our topmost component, let's add a justify content property to space between, right? And yeah, as you can see, there is a justify content, like there is a space in between, but like this section is taking up the entire screen. So what I'm going to do is, instead of 40%, let me create it 45%. Okay, this looks much better. Now we need some paddings on the right hand side as well. So let me quickly wrap this content wrapper, right? Let me wrap this content inside the container. Cut that. Let's add a div of class name container, and inside this let's add a content wrapper, and let's just save that. And there you go, we have some paddings on the right, so that is pretty good. One thing is, let me go to sign up styles of css, and let's just set this to 50. Save that. Okay, now this is way much better. And another thing that I want to do is set the align items property here. Align items to center. Let's just save that, and there you go guys. Now we have the sign up page right in between. I think this padding is way less compared to this spacing that we have over here. So let's just give a padding right to our wrapper as well. So Yeah, we have the content wrapper, right? So let me style this up. Not style, content wrapper, and let's just add a padding, right, of 2 rem. Let's just see how this looks. This is looking way better, but let me add a padding of 3 rem instead of 2. Perfect. I think this is much better than before. uh, let me add some space over here as well. So let me style this h2 now, that is inside the content wrapper. So let's bring this content wrapper here and let's target the h2 now. And here what I want to do is I want to add a padding bottom and set it to 1 rem, right? Yeah, this is much better than before. And let me quickly change the font size of this h2 to 2 rem, and yeah, this is much better. Alright guys, so I think we have created the UI for the sign up. Now this looks way better than before, and I'm very much satisfied with this. And the last thing that I want to add here is the nav bar, because you can see, as you can see, there is no nav bar right here. So let me quickly bring up the nav bar. I think we can add the nav bar over here, but I think since we have added a flex property in our sign up container, what we have to do is we have to make like add the nav bar above the sign up container. So let's add a nav bar over here, nav bar, right? And let's just wrap it up inside the React fragment. Normally I generally usually like to add react dot fragment, right? And let's add a react fragment. I generally write react.fragment instead of just giving that opening and closing tags. So basically what react fragment is that, like, if you have like a top level element in JSX, right, that does not do anything, that just sits around there, that it's just for like enclosing it, right? Normally you would like add a section tag or a div tag, but for performance reasons that's bad practice. So react basically gives you a react.fragment that you can use it as a wrapper. And if the wrapper does not have any class, if the wrapper does not have any function that you need to do, what you can do is, instead of adding a div or a section, you can add a react fragment, and that is really better for the performance issues. Okay, so let's just save this and let's see if the navbar comes or not. All right, so navbar is not defined. That means like we haven't like imported the navbar. So let's just import the navbar from dot slash, and you're going to import from assets. No, we're not going to import from assets. We're going to import from components, and inside the components we have layouts. Inside the layouts I've created navbar, and we have the navbar file. Let's just save that, and nothing's happening. Let's see what went wrong. Expected a string or a class function undefined. Maybe we imported the wrong way. Oh, I think I spelled the fragment wrong. It should be fragment. Sorry about that, guys. ment. Typos, and you can't do anything about that. Fragment. What's more like stressful is that you spend hours and hours debugging the code, and the issue was raised because of a simple typo. That's the most frustrating thing. Let's just save that. We have the Now we have the sign up backup, but you can see that we have our light navbar, which doesn't suit our sign up page. So let me quickly add a dark theme here and set that to true. Let's see how this looks. So it does look better than the previous one, but I'm still not satisfied because like this black color is being like is coming here in this image as well. So I think like either I can go with this or like I can create another style, but I'm actually not satisfied with this navbar in this sign up page at least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another theme. So remember we had like the dark theme set up for our navbar. I'm going to create another theme that with the name of dark text, right? And I'm going to set it to true. If you save this up, you will see that the dark theme is gone. You are back with the light theme, and that's okay. We are going to go with this light theme only, but we are going to create our texts black in general with this theme. So that's why I've added the name of dark text. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to navbar again, and here it's going to expect another prop that is going to be dark text, right? And I'm going to use this prop in like few cases, and one of the cases would be in our nav links. So here in our class name, instead of this adding like static nav links, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to add our curly braces because we need to add JavaScript over here. And inside this, I'm going to use template strings, ES6 template string. And here, I'm going to add a nav links. That is true. So nav links, because we need there are some like CSS properties that I've added here that we need. But at the same time, I also want to set the color to black. So if dark theme exists, or like dark text exists, then I want to have a string. And here what we're going to do is we are going to do the same thing that we did over here. We are going to check for our dark text prop. So let me add a dollar and curly braces, and let's check our dark text if it exists or not. If our dark text like prop exists, then we are going to add a class of nav links, right? Links dark. Else we are going to add a class of nav links. So basically what we're doing is, if we have a dark text prop, like the class name should be nav links dark, else the class name should be nav links. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for all of the links over here. Let's copy and paste this here, and here as well. Yeah, and let's just save that for now, and we should open up our navbar.styles.css, and in our nav links, let me add a comma and then add nav links dark, right? So that like all these effects gets added to the nav links dark as well. If you save this and go over it, nothing will happen, right? Because we are getting the same like property if for the nav links dark as well. But the only property that I want to change in case of nav links dark is this color. So what I'm going to do is, below this I'm going to override the color property, right, with color property with a dark color that would be like around 333, and we are also going to add a navlinks dark hover, and I'm going to set the color to the primary color as well. So let's just set that over here. Let me save this and go back to our code. Now you can see that we have our black text up here. Now this is much better than the previous two nav bars that we had. So yeah, I think this looks much better. So I can go to home, I can go to books, I can go to login. Okay, login does not have anything, and I can go to sign up. So let's move ahead and let's quickly create our login page as well. So for our login page, I want to have the same similar markup, I guess. So let me quickly copy this sign up, and inside our login page, let me go over here and paste it up. And instead of sign up, I want it to be login, right? And I want to be login over here as well. Login over here, and let's add a login, 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 login. Create a new account. You can like sign in with email and password. Sign in with email and password. Let's just save that. And we're getting some errors. Let me not import this for now. Let's just save that. Let's go to login, and there you go, we have our login as well. um, let's just save that, and in our input let's just add a value of login. So login, yeah, I think that's much better. Yeah, I think this should work, guys. So we have our login set up, because in our login also we just want the email and the password. So yeah, we have created a login page simply by copying the sign up page as well, right? And there are some few like things that I want to do. The first thing would be I want to create this form into a component, okay, into a separate component, because right now like our file is getting like larger and larger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another component here inside our forms. Like we already have this folder, so I'm going to create another folder, and here I'm going to say auth form, yeah, and inside this I'm going to create a new file saying authform.js. Right, authform.js, that would be good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this form and paste it inside the authform file. So let me quickly create a component, and here let me quickly paste that form. So yeah, now I think we can import it in our login.js. So let me import that form here. So import, I think it should be auth form, right? Also I think it should be in capital letters because it's a component. So I think we made a mistake by adding a small letter. Like it's just a naming convention. It's not that like your code will break or something like that will happen, but I like to keep the components in the capital form, so capital letters. So authform.js, and if you do that in Visual Studio Code, it's going to say update imports for authform.js, and you need to click on yes here. What this does is it automatically updates the name, because you can see here it's being like imported from auth form, right? So and if you go to our auth form, we need to like change this as well. So auth form and auth form, let's save that, and I think we are good to go. And here let me just bring this component auth form. Okay, let's just save that. Yes, so we do have our components back up. Okay, nothing is being changed. This means that our component is being called in, and this looks way cleaner and way smaller than the previous login code that we had, right? So we're just breaking down into components. And you might have also noticed that in our login component and also in our auth form component, like we're not bringing up any styles, but still our like the styles are not being reset. Like these are the styles that we had previously, and the styles are not being broken even though we are not adding the styles. And that is because like we have already created the styles in our sign up page. And as I said earlier, like CSS like bundles everything at the end, and then like say, like adds the styling to all the components, and that is the reason why your styles is not breaking. Okay, so let me do the same thing for the sign up as well. So import auth form, right, and then remove this form over here and add a auth form. There you go. Let's just save that, and let's go to our sign up, and it's the same thing.